This is Tuna on Toast.
Hey, this is Ted Stryker. I want to get a deep tissue massage, maybe even a little bit more low towel, tons of oil. Oh, it's Domino's, sorry. Oh, Jared's here, okay. Look at this. Look at the shape of this guy right here. Look at this shape.
Yo!
There he is.
What up?
What's going on, man? Good to see you.
How are you? Good to see you too.
Thank you so much
for
being
yeah.
here.
Stoked.
Oh my God.
This is beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is dope, dude. Really?
It's clean water.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Wait, you decorate houses?
No, I don't decorate houses. I just give a shit about interior design.
Oh my God. So wait, hold on. What do you think of it? Now, this is not an open floor plan or anything, but what do you think about the, oh, this is a little dirty here, about everything so far?
It's cool. It's a little mismatch, you know, like a poly mirror over there, then it's mid-century modern over here. The furniture's thick as fuck.
Thank you.
love it. Yeah, it looks great, dude.
What do you think
super,
of
like,
that tiger paint?
Super porno. I think it's dope. I think that's rad. Okay. Yeah, that's sexy. That makes me want to fuck.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when the podcast is over, I have to finish. And then we've got
pictures of clowns.
Yeah.
Do you in like a death mask? Yeah. Oh shit. I'm not gonna come home from this, am I? Like, this is my final. This is my final fucking podcast.
Jared Watson will be toast is the name of this.
Yeah.
All right. Watch your head here. Watch your feet.
Sick.
That's your spot right
Cool.
there. I can't.
Is that an ashtray or a coaster?
That's a coaster.
Okay. Boom.
He respects wood.
Yeah, right?
Very
of course.
few
I
people have
respect furniture.
respected the
Are you
wood.
serious? Motherfuckers weren't raised right. You know?
Oh my God, that's awesome. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tuna on Toast. I am Ted Stryker, joined by an artist today whose band just released their 8th full-length studio album, Midnight Control. It's Jared from Dirty Heads. All right, great to see you, man. We've already had a full warm-up, walking around the house. Thank you. I've said it 10 times off camera. Thank you for being here.
Of course, man. Anytime that I can come up and talk to Stryker, I'm about it, man. You've been there since day one.
It feels like that.
I mean, it's true.
I mean, okay, here's one memory I have. You and I walking on the Sunset Strip going to what was formerly the Key Club before you had officially released songs?
Yeah. Yes. It's been that long.
Wow.
So like kind of like before day one.
Yes, before day one.
Yeah.
And was I a nitwit? Was it a fun? I remember it being pretty fun hanging out.
No, we were partying. It was a good time. Yeah, that was a great time. I don't remember a lot of it.
And Shadows was there from Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah. So Jimmy called me and was like, "Hey, we're going to I can't remember what we're
Metal
going,
school."
Yeah, it was metal school, right?
Yes.
And Jimmy was supposed to play drums, and he like was not looking forward to it. He's like, "I know they're gonna fuck with me." And we went up and the guys were like peak Avenged Sevenfold partying and like picked me up in a limo and all this shit. I was like, what is going on? You know?
Yeah.
It was weird because they started in the same city we started. And like I'd known Jimmy since like middle school. And it was just cool to see them go this way and us go this way. But they're always just a little bit, you know, ahead of us, a little bit bigger than us. So at the time I was like, holy shit, limos? We're going and getting like VIP. We're getting walked in. Like at that time we didn't even have music out. So I was just like, oh, it was inspiring. And that was the first time I met you. Yeah. And Jimmy did get up and play drums and they fucked with them. And we got blacked out, wasted. And it was a good old LA night.
That was a great LA night.
Yeah.
When you saw the guys from Avenged doing so well, and you guys really hadn't done a ton at that point, did your goals seem unattainable, or did they seem, oh, this is what we do. I'm 20-something years old. It's going to be easy.
I think it maybe made it more attainable, you know?
Wow.
But I say this a lot too. I knew we were going to make it. And I'm like the biggest overthinker on the face of the planet. Like I'm working on it. Like in therapy, I'm working on it. It's an issue.
Because you overthink.
I overthink everything. So, you know, I figured out that I love this foot. It's $10,000. It's made by some crazy artist, right? I buy it for my house. It's the greatest thing ever. I put it in my house and I go, oh my God, I shouldn't have bought that. Fuck, I shouldn't have bought that.
Oh.
Should I have bought that, Sean? Should I have bought that, Stryker? Should I have bought this? And dude, my wife's just like, bro, stop. Like, you know, I do that with music. I do that with, I've done that my whole entire life. I'll do something and then I'll second guess it and then I'm dumb. And why didn't I do this? I do it with everything. But I remember the one thing, it's so weird and I cannot explain why. the one thing that I was always completely sure of, and it was in my gut, and that's where I get a lot of like my anxiety and all these feelings, and it was just like this feeling that every time I thought about music and every time I thought about the band, it was so calm and so like, yeah, this is gonna happen. Like for sure. I never once had a doubt in my mind, and I'm not that type of person.
Wow.
Yeah, weird.
Can you, through therapy or just your own instincts now as you've aged a little bit, matured a little bit, figure out why you tick that way? Not the overthinking, but not when it comes to the music stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure yet.
Oh, you're not
I'm
sure
not
yet?
Sure yet. Yeah.
Okay. We have 55 more minutes or so here, so maybe we can work on that.
Yeah.
So, man, Avenged Sevenfold is going like this. You guys, how did you guys, and I don't even remember the answer. How did you guys even start? Was it in high school in Huntington Beach?
It was in high school. Yeah, I was at a house party. My older brother was friends with Duddy's older brother. Went to a house party. Duddy was playing on a cassette tape these raps, these like Weird Al Yankovic raps. They were hilarious.
Okay.
They were about beating off in the bathtub, guns that shot dicks, like typical 15-year-old like. All we cared about was Wu-Tang at the time. Like all we cared about was Wu-Tang Clan. So like we made this like faux like fake Wu-Tang Clan group. There was like 12 of us. We'd go to Duddy's house, soundproof garage. We would write these ridiculously absurd 15-year-old offensive raps, right? And they were hilarious.
Yes.
They were so dumb and so bad. And then people just stopped showing up. And then it was just me and Duddy and like a keyboard and a guitar and like his recording stuff. And we were just like, we keep going. And then we were like, you're pretty good at these. And he's like, you're good at these too. And like started like kind of taking raps and like just learning verses from other MCs and stuff like that, and then playing off of them and like pretty much just not plagiarizing, but taking the cadence and putting my own like words and like being like, okay, I don't have to do this now. And then like that's when I started being like, man, I think I can write raps on my own. And then so we started just writing songs on our own, and it was like a song called Antelope, a song called I Got No Time, that was like our first 2 songs that we wrote that were on this thing called the Dirty Demo that we put out. And our fans still want us to play those songs. Wow. And we were 16 at the time.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it literally started in Duddy's garage, like in his soundproof garage that his dad built.
When you're talking about 2 voices, 2 MCs going back and forth, I think about the Beasties, who are, of course, 3. But I also think about Be Real and Sendog from Cypress Hill. I even think about Mike and Chester from Linkin Park.
100%.
So am I on the right track with some of the bands that you were listening to and heard their voices going like this?
100%. Yeah. I mean, it mainly was Beastie Boys, right? Like that was it. Like we knew it was Beastie Boys, Sublime, Wu-Tang Clan had so many members. There was another group called Boot Camp Click that was from the East Coast. They had a bunch of members. Pharcyde.
Oh yeah,
like
the Pharcyde.
We loved that's like one of my favorite, groups and albums of all time. So yeah, like we knew that there was something cool, and even Slightly Stupid. They were a little bit older, but they were still around when we were playing. We're like, dude, 2 singers, that's cool. 2 different voices, that's cool.
Right.
Like there's just something about those duos, like even in comedy, movies, whatever, that there's something kind of special because you get two different voices, 2 different ideas, 2 different vibes. So yeah, it just felt really natural, and definitely Beastie Boys and Sublime, and the fact that you could blend a lot of stuff. And, even Chester and Mike and Linkin Park, like they were blending genres, but they were doing it in a correct way, in my personal opinion. It wasn't so confusing. There's ways that you can do it where you're so confused. You're like, what is this band? How many different music genres are going to play each song, and I'm just confused. Like, but if you if you can blend them cohesively and come up with a new sound, that's exciting.
That's the key to it as well.
Yeah. And I think maybe that's why we were so confident, because I was just like, dude, nobody sounds like us. Like, this is going to probably be good at some points and be bad at some points, but there's nobody out there that sounds anything like the Dirty Heads, with your voice, my voice, what we do with reggae, what we do with hip hop, what we do with alternative. Like, nobody's doing this, So maybe there was some confidence in that I get excited when I hear original music. I knew what we were putting out was original, so I was like, yeah, this is going to work.
Okay, so you've got 2 people who are very creative and things are going well. But at that age, and even if you're in your mid-20s, 30s, and 40s, you need both people to have the eye of the tiger.
Yeah.
Because if someone does not, the other guy's going to get going to feel resentment towards that person, and most likely it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So what was the eye of the tiger, the fire in the belly like for you guys then?
It was that we would chat about it, and he would say the
really?
same thing. Yeah, I was like, man, I feel like this is going to happen. He'd be like, me too, bro. Like, I'd be like, man, I sit up at night and like, I don't get scared. And he'd be like, me neither. And I was like, dang, you know, and he was already like, his mom can sing. His dad was like, I think his dad was in plays or something. His dad might have been a musician, but his whole family's like really creative, right? And like really, their whole life was like music. So I think his like all of his eggs were already in one basket, right? He was already in a punk band. Yep. Like they had the Soundproof Garage. I had no plans on being a musician, which is still a really wild thing to look back and be like, wait, this is what I was supposed to do or what I am doing. Like, this is my purpose. Maybe purpose isn't the right word, but like, I'm very lucky that I found something that I love to do, that I'm good at, that we're successful at, you know, like I feel like that's, you asked me a long time ago what success was, you know, and I said, oh, I don't know. It's, you know, living slow and with my dogs. It was some lame answer because I was just on the spot and we were chatting. But like, I thought about that for a while. I did, because nobody has never asked me, and I was a little bit younger, and I was like, you know, what is success? And now I think I really think it's freedom, right? Like, I think it's freedom in multiple ways. It could be financial freedom if that's what you want. It could be creative freedom if that's what you want. But just like freedom to live life the way that you want. If you're able to live your life the way that you want, that's success to me, right? Yes. And like, I've found something that, one, lets me do that, and two, I really love. You know, so it's like, that's success to me. But it doesn't have to be music. It can be whatever. You don't have to be
financial.
No, you don't even have to be a millionaire, right?
No,
that's what I'm saying.
no,
it doesn't have to be. If your only goal is to be financially free and then tell everybody to fuck off and do nothing forever and follow your hobbies, great. But yeah, there's different levels of it. But if you have that freedom to live life however it is, that to me is success on whatever level, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think it can change over time what success means to the individual.
Sure.
Because this is all about you, but my quick answer for me at this point in my life is, how much time do I have I have 3 hours of free time today? That to me is success. I earned this 3 hours from putting in this freaking 30 hours of being on the dumb radio and TV for all these
of course.
years.
Yeah, of course. You know, and everyone says paying their dues, and it's like, I guess, yeah, you pay your dues, but you're working towards something, you know?
Right.
And you do get to a level where you're like, okay, I deserve this, you know? Like, and if you're out there feeling guilty about it, don't feel guilty about it. You deserve it. You worked your ass off. Enjoy it.
Question for you then. Do you feel like you've made it?
No. No.
Oh, okay.
Well, no. I don't know. That's a weird...
Meaning, do you still feel like someone's going to, or have you ever felt like someone's going to take this all away from you? And if you don't think about this business and the music and the tour and being on top of everything, that it's going to go away?
Right. So if that if that's what we're basing on made it, then no, I don't feel that, because that fear, which I think is very healthy, which I like to kind of keep around, like that's anxiety that I'm like, all right, cool. I still am like, you know, and the whole band is like this. Like, we get off stage and we're immediately talking about what went wrong, what went right, how can we better, every single night, every single show. We give a shit. We are still, we do still feel like we can get bigger and better and more successful and write better music and reach more people. So no, I don't think that we're at the point to where I've made it. I feel like there is a day that I deserve to be like, cool, I'm going to put it on cruise control. We've done what we've come here to do, and like, and I don't think that's anytime soon. But like, I can see, you know, I've met older musicians and artists, and you're like, that's cool. That's cool. I get that. You know, they get to play music when they want to play music. They get to spend time with their families and kind of, like you said, do what they want to do, you know, and have that freedom. I don't want that yet, because I feel like we have a lot more to do, right?
That's a great feeling to have, a natural feeling, not contrived, because that will really drive you to keep this thing going.
Yeah, yeah. Like, if I felt like I've made it, then I wouldn't come up here and do this podcast. I wouldn't sit in the studio for 14 hours. Yeah. I wouldn't sit up at night thinking like, how can I be a better singer? How can I be a better lyricist? didn't work on the last album, what did work on the last album. You know, all those overthinking things I think are good at that point, because I'm just kind of like looking and trying to better myself as a musician, as a songwriter, right? And I'm still in it, and I'm still loving it. Like, but yeah, I feel like there's going to come a day where I'm like, all right, man, I'm cruising and I deserve to cruise, you know, and I want that financial freedom. I want that wherever I'm like, I don't want to tour for a while. Like,
right.
Let's chill. Like, but I think that's a long way away.
I may be overthinking this. You had a song Spread Too Thin off your second album. I mean, things were going so crazy in your lives. Then you put out the song, which I still love.
Yeah.
And then a song called Celebrate, As You Know I Really Love.
Yeah.
And now you do the cover, Life's Been Good.
Yeah.
And it's like we're going to be in the water, in the pool, we're doing this. I've met it. Yeah, I got. And so it's almost, it feels like, and I don't know if it's on purpose, it's come like you were here, and now it's like, hey, here we go.
That's crazy, because I kind of do feel like that. Like, I'm definitely having more fun now and like way more confident. And like maybe, yeah, that probably has to do with the fact that we're a more successful band. That makes things easier on the road. That makes things easier at home. I got money in the bank, you know, like all of those things. So it's like, yeah, but that song is also very tongue in cheek. But yeah, Spread Too Thin, I was like freaking out, like learning the music industry. I'm young. It's like, damn, like this is a fucking gnarly, you know? Like, and then Celebrate was just like this beautiful song that was just like, okay, people don't really know like what gets taken away to like put in the success. And then Life's Been Good is just this like tongue in cheek, like, you know, kind of ridiculous song about like just fucking off and, you know, having a bunch of money and this and that, and like, not that we're these like giant rock stars like Joe Walsh or anything, but we liked the take on it, and that we are probably in a little bit more comfortable spot when it comes to that, and we could still make it tongue in cheek and like being sober, being healthier mentally, being healthier physically. Like, I'm just enjoying my job a lot more. I'm enjoying this whole journey a lot more. Back then, I think I was just fucking stressed and scared and like partying and just getting through it, you know? And now it just feels like a lot more stable and it's a lot, like I'm telling you, man, I'm having more fun now, and I'm loving it more now, and I have more fire now than I have, you know, since I was 16. You know, it
awesome.
Definitely goes like that, and I'm, you know, it's on an up right now. So
good for you.
Yeah.
Before we talk about the new record and some other things, I'm doing a quick Dirty Heads trivia game with you.
Yeah, sick. What?
Okay. Here we go.
Huh?
So if this was Jeopardy, the category would be in quotes Dirty Heads.
Okay.
Okay. So it's rapid fire. If you can't think of it, say pass, and we'll go to the next one.
I'll take Dirty Heads for 500. Stryker.
Okay. Here we go. In this movie, Clark W. Griswold drives the family to Wally World.
What is National Lampoon's Family Vacation?
Vacation, of course.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. This yellow sour candy at one point was a Halloween favorite.
What is a lemon head?
Bam. Okay. Nobody puts baby in the corner in this movie.
Fuck. Pass.
What's the name of the category?
Dirty Heads?
Pass. We'll come
Pass.
back. Okay. Clint Eastwood was this badass cop in this movie.
What is Dirty Harry?
Tears for Fears sang this lyric to the song I'm looking for. I wanted to be with you alone.
Pass.
Okay. This 1987 high school movie starred Mark Harmon as Mr. Shoop, and there was a character named Chainsaw in it.
What? Pass. What? Wait, are we doing, is that,
I was thinking My Own Sweet Summer. Summer School is the movie.
Summer School.
The other one you didn't get. Dirty Dancing. Dirty Dancing. Then you got Dirty Harry. And then...
Who's the baby in the corner?
That's the movie called Dirty Dancing. Patrick Swayze
and
Jennifer Grey.
Whoa. You know what's weird?
What?
You remind what? You know, it puts the lotion in the basket.
Oh, Silence of the Lambs.
I went immediately to a horror movie. I was like, yo, or like, yeah, Blair Witch, where the guy's standing in the corner. I was like... Oh, somebody put baby in the corner. Like, I thought, I've never seen Dirty Dancing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then
I thought that was a horror movie reference.
Tears for Fears song is Head Over Heels.
Okay.
So it was I was trying to incorporate.
I got that.
All dirty.
So what did I get? Like 3 or 4?
You got a 3 out of 5, 60%.
It's not bad.
D stands for diploma. Good job. So Mike from Incubus has been in here recently. Also Brian from Silver Sun Pickups, and they both said the following in a different way. They have so much material in their career. They feel so comfortable at this point that if they don't make any more songs, they're good, but they're still going to tour like crazy. Has that ever crossed your mind? Like, I don't know if we have it in us to go make 4 more albums after this. Where do you stand on that?
Absolutely not. I don't think we're at their level yet. I just watched Incubus the other night, and like Incubus is one of my favorite bands. Like I am a diehard like lifer when it comes to Incubus, right?
Wow,
like Brandon Boyd has been such an inspiration. I got to see him. It was insane. Their catalog is insane. I agree with that, right? And they had been a band before us. Like they're a little bit ahead of us, maybe 10 years or something, right? Yeah, if I was Mike, I could 100% see why he would feel that way, but not for us yet. Not for us yet. And I definitely don't feel like, I feel like this album, especially just from the feedback from our fans, is our best album. It's definitely like, other than Any Port in a Storm and maybe Cabin, because like you're gonna have those feelings of finding us, right? Those when a lot of people found us, and those are always your favorite albums. I get that. I know what worked and what didn't, looking back, and what mistakes we made and these weird things that happen in those albums in between then and now. But this album, like, I can for sure say, and a lot of fans agree with me, this is our most solid, best album that we've had since our first album. I feel like we're just going to get better. And I tell my manager this all the time. we're going to go out, like, we're going to chill and hit that cruise control on top. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of bands do this and then do this and then that, or a lot of bands do this and it's weird, or, you know, like they blow up overnight and then they steady do this. We've just been, even if you look at numbers, like even just on a business, like on a business model, just every year, just slow and steady, just a train, just slow and steady. Nothing's been going crazy, just slow and steady. Every year we just get a little bit bigger, a little bit. That's fine. That's great with me. I love that. I think that's good for us. And especially myself, just the way I think, like, I just want to go, oh, go, and then boom, hit it here, and then cool. That's when I'll be like, all right, we're cruising now, you know? I don't want to, like, put out a couple albums that are, like, all right. And I think that's probably what Mike and those guys are talking about. You don't want to just keep putting out music that might not be as great as it was. Maybe something's missing. Maybe you guys have done it too long, and, like, I understand that, and people have to understand that too. But right now for us, no. I think we can. I just wrote the best album that we've ever written, and I think we're going to write a couple more, and I think we're literally just getting better.
I agree with everything you said about the quality of the new album. 1,000%. Thank you, sir. Make Me, where did that come along? Like, where in the process?
I think that was 3 or 4 songs into it.
And who brought the idea?
That was Ryan. So this is the thing too about where we're at. I personally know how to build the team that I want. And before I didn't. We were meeting songwriters. We were driving to LA every day. We were writing with a new, like, it was like speed dating. We'd have 7 sessions in 7 days with 7 different guys, you know, on some of these albums. And that's just like, what the fuck is going on? You're meeting guys that just want singles on the radio, and they're just doing what other bands are doing, and you're like getting pushed and pulled, and you're like, ah. After a while, I'm like, fuck this. I know, and I met Ryan Ogren through that, and the producer that produced this album, and he's killing it. He's doing Doja Cat, he's doing Kid Laroi, MGK, he's crushing. But we've been friends for a long time. We've only been able to do spot songs with him, and every song is like, dude, you get us. And I sit and we talk, and man, you get us. And the tones that he has, the way we write together, I'm damn, you get us. So you get to a level where I'm like, we're writing with Ryan. We're going to go with Ryan. I'm going to go talk to him, and he's going to do the whole album. I'm going to make him do this. You know, he's not used to just doing full albums. Yeah. So I'm just in a spot where it's like, I know the mixers I want. I know, you know, you're more professional now, and we've been doing it for a while. Like, I know how to build a team. I'm like, yo, I'm going to get with Ryan. So we knew we had something special with Ryan, and I knew we worked really well. And, you know, everybody would bring in ideas throughout the whole thing, and Ryan brought in Make Me, and the melody was kind of, this is so funny. The melody was crazy to me, but the lyric was crazy. And I was like, no, I'm not doing you crazy. And I'm like, no. And then what about Baby? And I'm like, definitely not Baby. Right. So me and Ryan, like, so he kind of already had like this really awesome melody. Which his melodies are insane. I love to play off his melodies. He loves to play off of mine. We really get along when it comes to, like, our ears, when it comes to melodies, really are similar. And yeah, so we took a couple days, and that one was a little tough because we had the song. Just so you know, me too. Like, okay. Yeah, I love that song. So I mean, I love every song. Like, there's not one song on this album that I don't like, that I don't love. There's no, in my personal opinion, you can't poke holes in this album. I'm sure people will try, but whatever. I won't agree with it. But yeah, so Make Me was funny because me and Ryan were kind of going back and forth on what that ache, make, babe, like whatever syllables those were going to be for Make Me. And it ended up that we found like something about, you know, I was thinking about my partner and some people in the past my life, that it's just that person that you can be around that makes you want to be a better person, or allows you to feel like who you authentically should be. And once we landed on that, we're like, okay, Make Me makes sense, because we came up with Make Me first, and then it was like, make me what? You know, and we're like, make me crazy, make me happy, make me, and I was like, no. It's just make me. Like, I love the way you make me. That's it. Like, there's nothing after that. And that, I love writing songs. That's one of my favorite parts about writing songs, is to kind of figure out that, put the puzzle pieces together, talk it out in the room. That shit's really cool. So Ryan came in with that melody, and it ended up being, and it would Make Me.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that story.
Yeah.
What about your bandmates, Matt and John and Duddy and David? Like, do you guys feel as cohesive as you've ever felt?
Yeah.
Is the bond and the vibe good with everybody?
I think so, because we're all like real adults now, you know, and we all know that we want to do this, and like we all know that we have flaws, and we're all okay with those flaws. We all know that we're great people at the end of the day. Every one of the guys is an amazing human being, father, friend, all these things. So if there's little things, because you're in a tour bus, like understandably, you're around any human for that amount of time. We've gone through the fights. We've gone through the drunken messes. We've gone through it. And now we're just like, bro, we don't have the time or energy. We all want to do this. We all love this. And we're all friends. And like, we've watched the documentaries about other bands. So, but when it comes to like being cohesive and playing, I don't play an instrument, right? So those guys are so inspiring. And I feel really lucky, because I don't ever have to worry about it, because they're all, in my mind, so good. Right. They're so tight. Like Matt and John and Dave are so tight. Duddy is so creative. Like, you know, so we have this, and then now we have Sean playing keys, and we have Ruben and Mark on horns, and Ruben and Mark are doing backups with me now. And that's made me want to become a better singer. I got a new vocal coach. I'm like, dude, if anybody, I got to step up to these motherfuckers levels, because before, I was just a rapper, and like my whole thing was like almost to be a hype man and party and make people have a good time. I never thought about like pitch, and if I'm a professional. I was like, no, I write bars, I write good songs, I can go up on stage and just yell, and like, you know, you've seen hip hop shows. I just never thought about it. And you know, being around these guys so much, my thing now is like, and it's cool. It's now I have something else to work on. I want to be as consistent as my drummer and my percussion player, my bass player, as a singer, you know, because those guys are so consistent and so good, and only getting tighter, that I never have to worry about the band. I'm not like, oh, are we going to have a bad set? Or they are going to forget their parts? They're not going to learn the song. I'm like, no, I send them the stuff, and they show up and they crush it. I want them to expect that from me, you know?
So Jared, you've had all this success. You go to a vocal coach or vocal teacher. Like, what are they teaching you in this?
Well, this is crazy, because I've had like 2 or 3, right? And I never felt like they worked. And they were always, what I noticed with my new vocal coach, Colin, is the ones I went to before were always pop vocal coaches. They were mainly doing pop, and they were doing a lot of females. So the way that they were teaching me to sing never felt right. And I still always felt pitchy, and it was like really hard to hit these high notes. So I get with Colin, and Colin's background's opera, and it's full, and it's like, you know, like it's not these high pop things. And he taught me how to like sit on my voice and sit lower on my voice, and like the direction of where I'm singing and how I'm singing should be going this way, not that way. When I used to think of a high note, I would think of everything getting tight and everything going forward. He's like, I want you to think of everything getting heavy and everything going back on your high notes, you know? So he's like, it's weird. He's teaching me to sing in a more masculine, full way, because I have a higher pitch, you know, like a kind of a higher tone. Yeah. So it's cool to like feel and like learn and like know where it should sit in my, like actually in my throat, in my mouth, in my chest. Like, oh, and so now when I hit notes, I'm like, dude, this is dope. And like, just be confident and like fill it in. And I think like, when I was younger, I wasn't thinking about it. And I watched videos and go, oh, I was saying that really well. And then I got to the middle, and I'm like, man, why am I so pitchy for this tour and that tour and this tour? I was in my head. I didn't know. I was partying. I didn't know what I was doing. Maybe I didn't care. Maybe it was these excuses. But, you know, this last tour, now that I have this new vocal coach, and he's teaching me how to sing full and like masculine and fill it out and like not be tight with high notes and not be scared of high notes and be confident and ballsy. Like this last tour, like, was probably the best I've sang. And the guys like came up and like shook my hand, like whatever you're doing, keep doing it, you know, okay, you know, because they know. And they're such pros. They're like, God damn it, Jared, you were good tonight. You weren't good tonight. Get out of your head. So it's something that bothered me for a long time. Or at least the last couple tours. Now that I like, when I got over that, hey, I'm just a party rapper, right? So yeah, now I've been working on it, and it's just been feeling better and better. And
it takes a lot of guts to do that, man. To go to the singing coach and then use what you learned and apply it on stage. I'm thinking like about golfer. If I go get a lesson in golf, sure, in the driving range, I can hit 10 good ones in a row, but when it's showtime, I'm hitting into the houses off the fairway. I'm like, I'm just going to go back to my old ways.
Yeah. No, that happens. That definitely happens. I'll be like, damn it. But sometimes it's so small that, you know, people don't notice or whatever. But yeah, I think I was being taught not wrong, but I wasn't being taught for my vocal style and my vocal chords. And I finally found somebody. It's just like Ryan. Like, you have to find a good producer that fits for you. You know, it's like music is a lot like relationships. Bands are a lot like relationships. Like, you have to find a partner that works really well for you, not just because they're hot, not just because sex is good, not just because whatever, you know, you have to really vibe on different levels, and they have to really get you. And you know, when it comes to bands, producers, vocal coaches, you have to find the right one. And when you do, you'll be like, oh, yeah, what was I doing with that last one? I can't believe, you know what I'm saying? So it's just all about finding the right person. And I'm lucky to have Colin. I'm lucky that Ryan's been around and been such a good friend and producer, and, you know, we're in a good spot.
Oh. What are a couple of the songs that you guys play live that are really have made a difference with the new vocal coach? So when I go see you and I'm listening, you guys are playing a couple of these songs, I'm like, oh, okay, this is the one he's been working on.
Yeah. So which ones have I been feeling really good about that I wasn't feeling good about? I think there were certain parts of My Sweet Summer that were pitchy and weird. Definitely like Heavy Water is a new one that I was scared like that I was going to be pitchy, and it's not. What was that? What I'd have to see the set list. Shit, I'd have to see the set list, because now I just feel like I'm not scared of anything. There was songs where I was like, damn it, the guys really want to play this one tonight. I'm like, fuck that, you know, I don't feel that great singing that one, you know. And now there's none, you know. Oxygen, Burn Slow, the ones I'm more belty. Yeah. And I used to like definitely think that I had to like sing higher, you know. It's like, nah, and get thin and all this. It's like, nah, like I'm belting Burn Slow now, and it's like thick, and I'm sitting on it, and it feels good. It feels like the album. So definitely like Burn Slow, and the ones I'm probably like kind of yelling, not yelling, but belting a little bit. Yeah. Things like that. Yeah.
I love My Sweet Summer, and I remember texting you all those years ago. I played it. I think I got to world premiere it on my show at 420.
Yeah.
And I remember you started off the song, My Sweet Summer is Gone, and that was like the hooky part of the song that
I remember
you put in the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not a producer or anything, but I love that.
I know. I totally remember you saying that. I was like, oh, he gets it. I'm like, this guy's big us up on like the structure of this song, because it wasn't like a lot of structure of the other songs on the radio at the time, you know? Yeah. Yeah. It's just cool to play around structure, and it just feels better. We even did that with this album. There was a couple songs that we had that we were like, okay, these feel good. Indigo. There's a song called Indigo. And I was like, this feels good, but something doesn't grab me off the top, you know. And like, you do have to realize there's a lot of music out there, and people have a very short attention span.
Absolutely.
Ryan was like, I know the move. And he just moved the chorus at the front. We were like, there it is.
There it is right
There's
there.
a song. Yeah. Right. Before it was like a rap, and then it was, you know, 8 bars until you got to the hook, and you're like, this rap is cool. This verse is amazing. It tells a story, but I'm not getting into the song. And, you know, just move the chorus over, and now it hits and it bangs, and it's like, you know, it's just another song I love on the album.
Speaking of attention spans, on TikTok or anywhere, you got like 3 seconds to grab somebody.
Yeah.
If it takes 10 seconds, most likely you're not going to go viral. Your song Vacation ends up going viral, the vacation transition and all that. The song had been out for such a long time. Did you know that this was coming? No.
No. I had called it, like, well, I knew it was going to work in our world. Like, once radio said, you know, we're not going to play Vacation, it's not working, we don't like it, we don't need it, we don't want it, whatever.
And radio was saying that?
Yeah, like, we tried.
Yeah,
my God. Like, I'm pretty sure we tried.
There are some of the dumbbell executives.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. So, no, we for sure tried to push that as a single, and it just, you know, didn't work. People didn't want it. Wasn't what they were looking for. That's fine. And I was like, man, our fans are going to fucking love this song. This is going to be a fan favorite. It's fine because our fans are going to stream it, listen to it. I guarantee we're going to play this at shows and people are going to love it.
Yeah.
And it was already really popular at our show before it went viral. We were still playing it towards the end because it was one of the more popular songs, right? It just goes to show you, like, nobody knows. Nobody knows, you know, and then Running Up the Hill comes, and that song's, what, 30
Came
years
out
old?
in 1985.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
40 years old. And that's the cool thing about streaming and social media now. There's pros and there's cons. Yes, there's we're older. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't want to do TikToks. I don't want to do this, whatever. I think it's taking away from music, but I also think it's giving, you know, a lot of other ways for people to blow up, and it's showing people, like, there's less gatekeepers is what I'm saying. Like, nobody told somebody on TikTok to make that and make it viral. All the people, the listeners, just went, oh, we like this. You know, there's no gatekeepers. It doesn't matter anymore. You know, you don't necessarily have to go out and say, please play our song to these radios and these execs, and they can pick which one is right. You just put it out online, and
that's right.
It's cream's gonna rise to the top.
Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus is back.
Yeah.
I played that song when it came out 20-something years ago on the radio. Loved it then.
Yeah.
And played it. Ah, that's knocked me on the air. And then, bam, here it is.
Yeah.
Going viral. Everyone wants to hear the song.
Yeah,
again.
it's a good song's a good song. And it's cool because every fucking, like, I had a Zeppelin stage, right? I didn't grow up in the 60s and 70s, right? But, like, it's the late 90s. I'm in high school and I'm buying the box set because it's amazing, right?
Yes.
But you could only hear, you know, Zeppelin on, you know, what, KLOS. Yeah.
Right.
So it was like, okay, but now, like, if a Zeppelin song blows up, it's going to blow up anywhere, everywhere, over the whole entire world. The planet's going to take over. Internet's going to grab it. Streaming's going to grab it. Social's going to grab it because it was a great song. And music is timeless, and it doesn't matter, you know? So that's what's really cool about streaming social media, is that, like, Billie Holiday is crushing in lo-fi. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just so much cool shit that I listen to that when something that pops up, you're like, yes. And the fact that it's on TikTok, and TikTok, what's the demographic there? 16?
Yeah.
Right?
It's getting higher, though, by the week because
Sure.
everyone's jumping on it. But
Right,
yes.
and I understand that, but that's cool. That makes me happy because it doesn't matter. Like, these kids aren't, yes, there are new artists that are their age that they're going to understand, and they're going to, you know, that's going to be their band of their high school. But you can still, when you're 16, you can still love Billie Holiday. When you're 16, you can still love Led Zeppelin, whether it's 2020, 2010,
Master
2000,
of Puppets, you can
19
love.
fuck,
You can
yeah,
love
yeah,
Kate
that's what I'm
Bush,
saying. But it doesn't matter.
Dirty Heads Vacation.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's a 16-year-old now or a 16-year-old in 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's so cool. Yeah.
Yes. Everything you're saying, I've been thinking and expressing to people for so long. A good song is a good song. Man alive.
You're like, I don't know, a couple years ago. Actually, it was a while now. I keep saying a couple years ago, but it was a long time ago. There was this game called Fallout New Vegas. It's one of the greatest video games of all time. If you play games, you get it.
What is it called?
Fallout. It's Fallout, and then there's Fallout New Vegas. And all they play is, like, 1940s kind of jazz, you know? And it's like this really dope, old school, kind of weird, obscure 1940s jazz. And now I'm obsessed. I have been obsessed. Like, I have 1940s playlists. Like, I probably listened to, in the last 5 years, I've listened to that era of music over any other music.
Really?
And I found it from a video game. Yeah, it's like Ella Fitzgerald and the Ink Spots. You know, I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire.
Right.
It's that shit. And it's just like, it's just so soothing and so cool. But that shit was in the 40s, right?
Right.
But it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's 2020, and I just found it now recently, and I'm like, oh, this is the best. Yeah. And now I'm noticing that it's kind of popping up in lo-fi remixes, and I'm like, yes, this is cool. Like, good music is good music, you know? Right. Doesn't matter. And back then, like, I don't even know, there was not execs. There wasn't the machine that we had now. I'm sure there was, but I don't know if it was. It had to be different back then, you know?
Now you're talking about 40s, 50s time?
Yeah,
like,
right.
How did people get their music?
Yeah, right? They had to fucking on the big fucking...
That was straight
gramophones, sousaphones, whatever the fuck it was. Like, what, there was probably 2 radio stations? Like, maybe there was just one gatekeeper. I don't know. But
There were very, very few radio
different.
stations.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you heard it and you found out that that artist or band was coming to your town and you would see them play, that was everything.
Yeah, it was
right
probably
there.
harder
And
back then. It's probably even worse.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned that there are times after you guys do a show where you huddle up and figure out how can we do better. Are there any examples recently of how you thought you could have been better at a live show as a group?
I really let the guys, when it comes, like Maddie is kind of our musical director, so he'll usually kind of spearhead that, and then I'll let him know how I feel like if it's, you know, if it's working or not, you know. So those guys kind of powwow about that a little bit more, you know, just it's small things like where a stop should be, you know, they'll work on like this stop or like that stop or that bridge, kind of like now that we have more freedom to jam, like they'll have these jam parts, right, or we can go from song to song without stopping. That's really where they're kind of working on that stuff. And me, it's always like, damn, I missed that note. Oh, fuck, I missed that note. And they know, and they'll be like, and I don't even need to talk to them. They'll be like, oh, why are you, you know, like, it's not even like a, you okay? It's like, we get off stage and it was like, how was it? I'm like, and they're like, all right, you know, and I'm like, and then they'll, you know, how was it? And I'll be like, yes. And they'll be like, I know, you know, and we try and big each other up too. Like, yo, you killed it tonight. Like, I noticed, you know, you really fucking crushed it tonight. And I will say, you know, say that to John or Matt or somebody. Like, it's so funny when you play with these guys for 20 years, like, you know, when they just have like that little extra that night, and you're like, man, you really fucking nailed it tonight, even though nobody else would notice. Right. Nobody would notice, but I noticed that extra 10% you gave, you know, or when they come up and they're like, dude, you know, tonight you crushed it. You weren't pitchy. You nailed everything. That just makes me super fucking happy. Cause really I don't think it's so noticeable to the crowd unless I have some vocal issue that I'm necessarily worried about that. I'm more so worried about the fucking pros behind me. Like, I want to make them happy. I want to like make them impressed. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's so noticeable that I'm like, shit, I played a terrible show tonight. And if I did, it's probably because I was sick or I had something going on with my vocal cords, and that's always frustrating. But usually when it comes to the little things, I'm just trying to like keep up with the guys behind me, you know?
But you mentioned like a little extra 5% here or 10% here. That's what separates good artists from great ones, or good doctors from great ones, whatever it is. Because if you do 10 things 5% extra, that's 50% right there.
Damn.
I mean, and it adds up every night. Like, those little percentages really mean something in the long run. And if there's people that are throwing in the towel because they don't want to give that extra 5%, there's no way they're going to get to the level that they think they should be at.
Just give me that for this fucking guy. You should do this for a living, dude. You should talk to people. Fucking keynote speaker. I'm like, let's play a show. I'm like, I want to go rehearse tomorrow. I'm like, all right, boys, we're getting a rehearsal. We don't have a show for fucking 4 weeks, but we're going. All right, I'm pumped. That was good, man. You're right.
Thank you. Thanks, man.
No, thank you.
Do you enjoy more than ever being on the road? Is it like still fun, or does it feel and look, if you say it feels like work, that's not a bad thing, because it's your career.
Yeah, you got to be realistic.
What does it feel like at this age you have a child and a partner and more responsibility, and you can't be acting like a fool like maybe we all did at some point?
Like I said, I do enjoy it more now. I do. I enjoy it more now. And this is just the reality of life. I do get to get away from my responsibilities, and that, you know, and that's, I love my partner so much, and she takes care of that. And I'm so glad for her, because she's okay with that. Right. You know, she jumped on this train. She knew what she was getting into when I met her. Right. And this has been a dream of mine since day one. So I can't feel guilty about that I do have to, you know, leave my family for, you know, 2 months. Right. But this is my dream, and I'm living it. Right. So I don't feel guilty about that. And at this point, it's some people might think you should feel guilty about is I get to go and sit on a nice big tour bus, a nice air conditioned tour bus with video games and whatever amenities I need. And there's catering 3 times a day, and it's healthy or not healthy. I can choose, I can work out. I have no responsibilities all day. I get up, I work out, I eat healthy, I do my vocal exercises, and I work for an hour and a half, right? That's pretty fucking dope. Like, I love that now. And I don't got to worry about the kids' school. I don't got to worry about this. She'll call me and I'll FaceTime. I'll help, right? But it is nice. You're like, damn, I'm getting a break. Like, should I feel bad about this? No, I shouldn't feel bad about this. So, and then just physically and mentally, I'm in a better spot. So I do really enjoy the shows, and I really enjoy touring because we tour in the summertime, and it's nice and sunny, and we play these outside venues.
Yes.
And like I said, we just paid our dues to where it's comfortable now. Like touring, a lot of people say, even fans, I feel bad. They're like, dude, you sacrifice so much of your life, and touring must be so hard. And I'm like, I really appreciate you thinking that. Like it was gnarly when we were sacrificing a lot of our life sitting in a fucking van with 12 of us eating dollar menu for 10 years and playing to 10 people. Like that was fucking gnarly. That was hard. And missing birthdays, missing holidays, missing everything.
Right.
That was fucking heavy. It's not heavy anymore. Like touring is not hard. It's pretty nice now. The only thing that is hard is that I miss my family. And sometimes I'll fly them out and sometimes I can't. And sometimes, it's just like a perspective thing where you look back and where we came from and be like, oh no, that was hard. This isn't that hard, And our fan base has grown, and the community that we've built or that they've built has grown. And we're just really proud of it. And yeah, I have a fucking great time, man. We get to go out and work for 3 months out of the year and come home and write music and do what we want the rest of the year. Like I can't ask for much more. And that's why I don't want to lose it. I don't want to slow down. I don't want to get complacent. Like I want to get better and better and just keep going while we can. And, eventually one day they'll be like, all right, we did it. We're here. And I don't know. And enjoying that journey. I used to only think I'd enjoy the goals that I'd get. Then we'd get to that goal, and I would not enjoy that goal because I'd have a new goal. Yes. That was my big thing.
Right.
So now I'm actually enjoying coming up and doing podcasts and having conversations, good conversations, and going on tour and seeing new cities. And I'm thinking about that day rather than like the end of tour. I used to only think about the end of tour, because touring was hard. Now it's not so hard. So now I'm like, cool, what am I going to do today? And it's a lot more enjoyable.
When the songs were pretty much only available 10, 15 years to hear on the radio, or if you had a CD or maybe, I guess, on YouTube at that time, did you constantly keep track of how many spins total are we getting in the United States with our song this week? Did you look at that kind of stuff, or you just, the chips will fall where they're going to fall and we're going to keep doing our thing?
That's funny. So I think I might be the only one in the band that is the chips will fall where they're going to fall guy. So I don't look at numbers. I don't look at streaming. You. I stopped looking at comments. I just don't care anymore. It's what's going to happen is going to happen, right? There's nothing I can do about that other than, work hard and show up when I'm supposed to show up and show up the best version, right? The rest of the guys, like, even now, like Life's Been Good is number 7 on alt radio, right?
Yes, it is.
And I'm in this thing, and I'm almost like, take me off this thing.
Yeah.
It almost gives me anxiety. I'm like, I don't fucking care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to know what it's doing. I know it's gonna do well. Do people sing it when we play the show? Yeah. So it's like the rest of the guys are like, they're checking out. And I like that because we need that. And it's what we've also done in the band is we delegate now, right? Like, so I do music videos. Like I'm the
video.
Yeah. Sometimes they suck and sometimes they're good, but I'm the music video guy, right? Me and John are the art when it comes to me. John and Dave are the art when it comes to merch. Dave also spearheads that. John spearheads all the posters that you see. He gets all the artists. Maddie's the musical director. Duddy's doing social media. Like, we've noticed that, like, this is $1 million business, right? And you're leaving a lot of things up to management and the label. And I think that's where a lot of bands get unhappy. So it's like, let's not leave as much up to them. Let's work more and help them and look at it like we really do on this business. We're not just going to make music and just be the creative guys, right? Like, now we're like, okay, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to do that. Like, I'll do a little bit more of the press, you do that, whatever. Like, now we're taking parts of, there's so many moving parts that we're making them our jobs, right? And that's working really well. And I'm definitely not the, like, keep up with numbers guy. I'm like, I don't care what the streams are at. I don't care what Life's Been Good is at. Like, that's not, I just don't care. I don't care. I think it's a great song. It's going to happen when it's going to happen. That's my manager's job. And the rest of the guys, if they want to stick with it and keep up with it, like, that's fine. I don't want to know. I don't care. Tell me when it gets number 1.
It's going that way.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, cool.
Right now, The Killer's Boy is number 1.
Okay.
Which is the best song they've made in a while. It's
Sick.
awesome. Yeah,
Rad,
it's good.
Yeah,
good.
I'm glad that it's a good song.
It is. It's a really, really good song. But the advice, it wasn't even advice. How you guys are operating right now is great advice for anybody in a creative space. You really, at the end of the day, no one's going to care about you more than yourself.
Right. Yeah.
And so, look, we've got these guys in the band. You do this, I'll do this, do this. It's going to be better in the long run.
Yeah.
More work.
Find what you like in there's so many moving parts. Like, so just find what you're good at, and then you're the guy for that. You know, and once we noticed that John kept finding these cool artists for these posters, you know, every night. There's like 60, 80 posters, right, in a tour. And John's going to have to find 60 to 80 artists to do these. That's like a lot of work, right? It is. And so he does that, and it's sick. And like, that's the 5% that I feel like some other bands don't do. That's that extra 5%, you know, or we just kept doing these music videos that like we just kept getting duped on. These guys would just show us this inspiration board, and they'd show these other videos, and they'd be so sick, and we'd give them all this money, and then we'd get our thing back and be like, this is not what you promised us. You know, this is not it is not the fucking hamburger on the billboard. Like, you see the McDonald's hamburger on the billboard and you're like, yo, dope. And they're like, you're getting that. And then you get the wrapper and there's like the fucking cheese is falling off and you're like,
sauce is messy.
Like, that happened so many times that I was like, you know what?
Man,
I've watched how this is done. Fuck it. I'm doing the music videos from now, or at least I'm writing them. I'm doing the treatments. I'm going to find the pretty, like, I don't care. So it's like, and this is my favorite part. If it turns out shitty, it's my fault. And I'm okay with that. Then make fun of me. And then I can also make fun of me, and we can laugh about it, right?
Yes.
But when somebody else does it and you leave it up to them, so that's why like I started taking the music videos, and just like that made us think like, okay, you know, Dave, you do this. Matt, you do this. Duddy, what do you like doing? Okay, you like that, you do that. And we all just kind of like picked our jobs, and now we do that. And it's nice because too many cooks in the kitchen also. If you have 5 guys doing the music video, then 5 guys doing the posters, and you have all these motherfuckers like you might not line up, and everything takes forever, and you got to have more conference calls, and you got to have, you're like, who the fuck wants to be on
50 emails that you don't need?
Dude, I can't stand that shit. And you're like, all right, less conference calls? John, you got it? You got all 80 posters? Cool, I love them. If there's one bad one, I'm going to make fun of you a little bit, but hey, you didn't, you know, 80 posters and 79 were great. You're doing a good job, you know, like little things like that. It's just, it's working better now.
Jared, what
Stryker.
music video of yours was the most expensive?
Probably My Sweet Summer, because there was 2 of them. Is that the one there's a skeleton? Oh,
is
man.
that like 6 figures to make those music videos?
No. We don't get those that big of a budget. If we got 6 figures, our videos would be fucking dope.
They're all videos. They're
good. We probably get like 15 grand at the most, maybe 25 grand at the most sometimes.
That's still, if you add up all the videos you've made.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
But we've canned one. Like, we've spent 25 grand on a video. I think it was My Sweet Summer, and it was like this puppet, and it was gonna be like way funnier. And I was thinking it was gonna be better, and the guy told me it was gonna be all this stuff, and then it came out, and it was pretty funny. It was all right. But like, I hated it so much at the time because I was so close to it, and like, looking back, it's not that big of a deal. A lot of things aren't, you know, but I overthink everything. So I canned it, and I said, everybody fuck off. I'm gonna shoot this video myself. And then we did another one with my friend Wardo, and he got on a motorcycle, and we found a chick, and she was a siren, and we went down to Laguna, and we shot it in 48 hours. We edited it, and we turned it in, and that was a video. And then the label was like, this is cool, but we're also gonna release this like a week later. And I was like, ugh. So it's like we spent over on that one, and then you know, we kind of get the same budget. I try and push for more every time, but they haven't given it to me yet. So I'm gonna push for like 100 grand, see what we can do.
100 grand, yeah, why not? We've been talking a ton about the present, but going back to some of your early shows, were you driving up to the Hollywood area and just hoping someone would be there, or how did the ball get rolling back then?
Oh yeah,
that was traction happen.
So yeah, that was wild. Like, we had played like 2 shows, and our manager Cheese found us. So we were only like 2 or 3 shows into it, right? Like, we played a couple house parties, but we never played any venues. We played like these 2 or 3 bars. I guess they weren't even really venues, but we had a lot of our friends show up. You know, and they were kind of these packed houses. I take this back. Duddy had started doing party buses up to the Roxy. So like, we kind of grew because we would do these bars, and we were like, man, we could pack like 200 people, like 200 of our friends in here, 300 like of friends or whatever.
Because it's a long ride from there, Huntington Beach area, to Hollywood,
to the
and
Roxy.
there's a lot of great bands that play the Roxy. So you want to get safe and sound.
We would book these shows at the Roxy, and Duddy would literally book like 3 or 4 party buses himself, and then go and get all the money from all of our friends and like pay the whole thing. And we would pretty much just bus our whole entire crowd up to the Roxy, and then fill in the Roxy and sell it out. And that like got a lot of people's attention. And our manager was like, hey, what, these kids are selling out the Roxy? And he, you know, so, and I think that was only like, yeah, that was only a couple months into it. So I lied. We played bars for a little while, and then Duddy came up with the Roxy tour, tour party bus idea. And then we started like selling out the Roxy in the Viper Room because we would just party bus our friends up. And we found our manager Cheese. And within a year we were signed to Warner Brothers. You know, and then within a year of that,
you were out of Warner Brothers,
because
right?
streaming. Yeah, but I gotta give kudos to Tom Wally and Warner Brothers because they were cool as fuck about it, and they were like, "Hey, man, streaming's here. We're dropping like the majority of our acts that are not giant. We haven't even put in an album with you guys, but we're not gonna shelf you. You can have the masters and you can have the album." And we were like, "Yeah."
Was that any port in a storm?
Yeah.
Wait, so
that was
you
Tom
did
Wally
it with over there, Tom Wally and Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Rob Cavallo as well?
Yep.
They said, wait, what was the reason they let you go?
Literally like Napster and streaming and pirating came out like the fucking like year that we were supposed to put out, and they didn't know what to do, right? They were freaking out. They were like, everybody's stealing music and pirating things now, so they just freaked out. And they're like, hey, we can't put money into bands that we don't know that are going to make us money. And we got it. We were like, shit, that's a bummer. And then we're like, are you just going to like put this in the basement, this album, and what's going to go on? And Tom was like, no, man, you know, I'm not going to do that to you guys. Like, here's the album, here's the masters. Like, good luck out there, because I don't know what the yeah, just weird. Like, okay, so we toured off of that album without releasing it for like 3 or 4 years until we found another like indie label that would drop it, because nobody would sign us at the time. So we just like sold physical copies out of the back of the fucking.
And Cheese still was with you.
Yeah,
and he was supporting.
Dude, he took no commissions, no nothings for 7 years. He was like, yo, you guys aren't making shit. You guys aren't making any money right now. There's streaming going on. There's this. I don't know what the hell, but he believed in us and was like, it was something crazy. Like it was a long time. He's like, maybe it was 4 years, maybe it was 7. I can't remember, but it was a long time before he took $1 from us. You know, and that's something to be said about a manager, you know, because he saw the fucking end goal. He was like, oh, I get it. And to stick around and do it with us, you know, like that was like something for me that I'll never forget, you know, even when we, you know, we used to have arguments, or, you know, he pulls some manager shit. I'm like, yeah, I know at the end of the day, though, he's, you know, his heart is good and he's in it for the right reason. He was with us for forever without even making $1. But yeah, we were just on our own. But that was the weirdest thing, was touring an album that wasn't released for like 3 years, and then we finally found a label that would put it out, and they released it. And then that's when Lay Me Down happened.
That's when Lay Me Down happened.
Yeah.
Wow. And then things started going for you. Yeah. But you had 4 or 5 or 6 years of playing shows under your belt.
Playing the same album.
Playing the same album. You better have been good at it after that.
We were so fucking sick of that album by that time. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that's wild.
What a great ride.
Yeah, right?
Congratulations
man.
On all your success. You deserve it. You earned it. You guys are talented as hell. And you and the community of Dirty Heads fans, I mean, they have your back and you have theirs.
100%.
And it has been a marathon. And again, awesome job in every possible way, man.
Yeah, now it's midnight control time.
Yep.
And it's crushing, so we're stoked.
All right. And if Life's Been Good keeps going up the chart, I will not text you.
Yeah, don't let me know.
I'm not going to text you at all about it.
Only until it hits #1.
Okay, then I'll send you a bullseye.
Yeah.
How about that? I'm just going to send you a bullseye.
Yeah.
Okay,
and I'll know.
You want that?
I won't even respond.
3? How about if it goes top 3?
That'd be dope.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the thing is I'll know. I'll hear it. The guys are going to like, the guys are going to let me know, you know, like we get emails. Like, so we just got added to like some big, we just got added to some like giant hits playlist thing on Spotify. It's like 34 million listeners or subscribers. It's like one of the biggest playlists on Spotify. And they sent out this email, and I'm like, cool. I didn't need to know that. You know, I'm so glad. That's super awesome. Like, let's just keep going. Like, I don't want to pay attention to that shit. You know, I just want to blinders on what's next, or what do I need to do right now?
Well, you're killing it. Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
8 full-length albums
out
there. You guys are bigger than ever, and it's because of all the hard work and the dedication and the cohesiveness with the guys.
I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Midnight Control is the album. That's been another episode of Tuna on Toast. For Jared, I am Stryker. Happy snuggles. Bye-bye. Hope you enjoyed. Now hit that subscribe button. And for more Tuna on Toast, listen wherever you get your podcasts.